Hey guys, it's Benjamin Carpenter with TWI Defensive Solutions. In today's video, we're going to learn about what to look for when you're exploring your training options, what to consider when you're looking at all the different platforms available, and how the TWI Defensive Solutions platform can help you in the future. Stay tuned to find out more. Today we're going to talk about what to look for when you seek training. In today's video, we're going to discuss if you want to be like this guy, or like this guy, or maybe you see yourself in the future doing something like this. For most people who think about firearms training, the first thing that comes to mind is this. And although we all see the movies and we all want to end up like this, the reality is you have to start somewhere. And today we're going to talk about how the TWI curriculum sets you up to get from where you're at to here. As you know, TWI stands for Trained with Intent. And what that means is when you come to one of our classes, or when you interact with us through our social media pages and you ask questions, we want to find out who you are, what drives you to seek training. And once we know a little bit about you, once we know about what kind of training you think you want, we can then determine a roadmap for success so that we can ensure that you are on the right track to becoming this guy or this guy. Our roadmap to success is designed around the average gun enthusiast, the intermediate shooter, and begins assuming that you've had no experience with firearms. As an example, we offer a concealed weapons class, as any instructor should or already does. That concealed weapons class starts you off with the understanding that you know a little bit about guns. The mistake that we see made is that most instructors go to one side or the other when it comes to this topic. Our concealed weapons class assumes that you're familiar with the terminology and nothing else. We've sat through classes over our lifetime that assume you know nothing about guns, and you end up spending 4, 5, or 6 hours learning about firearms, and when it comes time to learn about the self-defense aspects and the laws, you've already tuned out, probably asleep. Now, on the other side of that, we've seen many instructors who go to the other side of the spectrum. They teach a concealed weapons class that has absolutely no foundation. It is a map of the states you can carry in, a list that they provide to you of where you can and can't carry a gun in your state, and then they simply have you stand up outside or at the shooting range, fire a couple rounds in the general direction that a target is, and consider that safe handling of a firearm. We learned over the years that when you see students train in this manner, whether it's the middle ground, whether it's one side of the spectrum or the other, students become intimidated, embarrassed, and often nervous to speak up and ask questions. So we started thinking, how do we get our average concealed weapons student from this to that? And that's when we decided to develop the Train with Intent roadmap. Let's talk about firearms training. Most of the time, people that go to the range to train are shooting at stationary targets with no defensive concepts. Let's talk about the people that are looking for training. Most of the people who are looking for training are searching for firearms training in their area. They are searching for firearms training based on names and places that they've associated with in the past. Most of the people who search for firearms training search for training and facilities. They don't actually search for the courses to get them to their end goal. Here at Train with Intent, that's what we do. Each one of our students fills out a brief survey so that we can pair them with a perfect roadmap. That roadmap can be used with either our pre-made course guidelines or for our students to take with them in the future, so that as they search for training around the country, they're able to understand what they need, what to look for, and they know the questions to ask. We can take average gun enthusiasts, average citizens who want to defend their families. We can apply our roadmap to their situation, and within a few short months, we can take an average shooter and make them an exceptional member of their community. I want to get a little personal, and I want to talk about what is training. Is training going out to the shooting range and finding somebody to shoot with? Is training putting yourself against your best friend, trying to shoot at a target, see who can get closest to the bullseye? What is training? What is training to you? Tell me in the comments what you consider firearms training. Read through the comments and understand that what you consider training might not be what the next person considers training. Firearms training is so subjective that we find most of the time students that come to the same class have different expectations. Students that come to the same class and then attend a follow-up class have different skill levels because they trained on the in-between time and they trained differently on that in-between time. What's training? Tell us in the comments, reach out to us on social media, and let us know what you think firearms training is. Give us some details about where you've trained. Let us know some of the drills that you've run, your favorite ones and your least favorite ones. Let's talk about it. Let's be social, because in order to bring exceptional firearms training, self-defense training to our communities, we have to be open and honest, help our neighbors, empower each other to learn, to be safe, and most importantly, to train with intent.